Welcome back to day number 3 of Strength, Strategy, and Mindset. I'm Dr. Dwain Woode, that's Wood with an E. The E stands for Endocrinology. I educate, I empower, and I encourage you to take charge of your health and your life, avoid complications, and go to the next level, recreating the life we've always wanted. And today we're returning to one of the most important exercises, one of the most important concepts that we can do in our body, and that is the squat. Now, I know what you're thinking. You said, wait a minute, Dr. Wood, didn't we do that already? Well, we have done it already. And today is not about repetition. It's really about refinement and about mastery. Remember, mastery says that we're not interested in novelty. We're interested in doing what we need to do to be successful and to be ready for what comes next. And so today we're coming back. We are going to be working on our strength, strategy, and mindset, but we're going back to the squat. Remember our plan. Our plan is to go from where we were to another place. We're planning to go from consistency to capacity to capability. We've gone through mastery, and now we are expanding and we're growing. We're living that limitless life, which says that we're not allowing anything from inside or from outside to prevent us from doing what we need to do to be successful. Let's go ahead and get started. And as we normally do, we're going to get our body ready, and we're going to do our kind of warm-ups that we've been doing. If you've not been with us before, there are four or five different things that we do. The very first one is going to be our arm twists. And basically you're standing with your arms out to your side, just kind of relaxing. And we're going to do forward and then backwards. We're going to do 10 forward and 10 backwards. Okay, so we're going to just twisting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and then backwards 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Now, if you want, you can actually do that more. You can actually use that as part of the tension exercise. There are some exercises that we will do that we can actually use that same motion or similar motion, arms out. We can have some weights on that. We can do that as well. So we can always increase the tension, because remember, there's growth under tension. We'll talk about that here in just a little while. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to do our knee march. We're going to do that for 1 minute, sorry. And so basically what we're doing is we are, in the version I told you, was taking your forearms and you're lifting that knee as high as possible, right? And we're doing that alternating. So let's go ahead and let's do that. And this one we're gonna do a set of 10. So one knee to the next knee, that'd be 1. 1 to the next will be 2. 1 to the next will be 3. If you need to modify this, you can use your chair. You can also hold on to a wall if you need to. And in this case, I've got my workbench, which we can use. But I'm gonna go ahead and do the normal one. And then you can modify this as needed, okay? So we're gonna do this for about a minute. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. And we're just gonna kind of do that over and over. And like I said, we're gonna do that for about a minute. I was counting, but we don't need to count. And like I said, if you need to, you can use a chair, you can use a wall to do this. And in fact, I'm gonna back up so I can hold on to this wall so I can show you a modified version of this, right? So if you need to, and you're bringing that up as high as possible, right? I like to do it so I can touch my elbows. You can use a chair. Same thing if I need to hold on to this, I can do that as well. Okay, and let's do a couple more. And down. All right, so that really kind of loosens up the hip. It gets my core going. Remember we talked about the core. The core is that place right behind your belly button. Like when you're getting ready to take a picture and you think your stomach is pointing out too much and you go, and you suck it in just a little bit. That right there is the core. And so we want to activate that as we get into these movements. All right, next thing we're going to do is a cross body leg swing. And so for this one, you want your feet shoulder length apart, shoulder width apart. And the side that you are going to swing towards, you want your toes pointed a little in that direction, because if the toes are pointing straight forward, when you do the swing, then the tendency is for you to kind of tip over, which you saw yesterday. So I'm going to turn my toes slightly out in the direction I'm swinging. And so basically what we're doing is taking this and we're swinging across, bringing it back. We're not going to touch, right? We're going to keep this up, swinging and across, right? So I'm touching, but swinging and across, and I'm a little unsteady there. I need to relax a little bit from those leg raises. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that. And once again, you can modify this by holding onto a wall. You can hold onto a door if you need to. Let's go ahead and we're going to do 10 on this side and then 10 on the other, and that will be our set. Okay, ready? So, all right, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Ooh, I need to come down. 8, 9, and then 110. Okay, and then the other side, we're going to do a modified one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then 110. Okay? All right. So those are 3 of the exercises we do as we're warming up. There's some others that we can do. Right now, we're not going to add those in, but you will begin seeing those. Well, you've seen them, so that's kind of what we're going to walk through as we do our exercises. There are some other arm stretching ones that we can do, which we won't do right now. Okay. All right. So our squats. So remember the squat, and the squat is one of the most powerful full body workouts that you can do. It's not just physical, but it's also symbolic. It's about lowering your entire body with control and then raising it again. That's not just for strength, that's life, right? So you have to have control. And remember, we're not aiming for perfection. We're not aiming for deep, heavy squats. We're not aiming for how fast you can do it. We're aiming for control. We're aiming for you to be able to do this properly. And so we're going to go down. We're not going to do the count as we went down as we did the last time. And we're going to go down and then come back up. We're going to do 3 sets of 10 of these with a 15 to 20 second break in between. Remember, for these as well, you can use a chair if you need to do that, to go down and to come up as well. The way we do this is basically we are feet shoulder width apart, and we're going to pretend like we're sitting. Our bottom is going to come down. We're going to bend a little bit, and our knees are pointing out a little bit so that our knees don't buckle. And we're going to go down with our legs, thighs, parallel to the floor, and then we're going to go down and then come back up. We're going to do 3 sets of 10. So let's go ahead and get started. And we're going down and bottom down, and we're going to go all the way down with our chest up as much as possible. That's 1. That's 2. That's 3. That's 4. 5. 6. 7. 8. 9. And 10. Okay? And just about 15 seconds between them. These, remember, you can modify them by holding on to something as you're going down or even as you're coming up. Or if you're not able to do that, you can actually get a chair and sit in the chair and use that as the lowest point that you will go. And then, of course, you have the chair that you can use to come back up. We can also use barbells and dumbbells to add additional tension, because remember, muscles grow, muscles get stronger. We get stronger under tension. So control tension is the key. We'll talk about that here in a minute. So if I wanted to, I could grab some weights and I could use those on my shoulder as I go down. Okay? We're not going to do that today. All right. So let's go to our second set. And this one I'm going to do facing you, so you can see what that looks like from the front. Last time I did it from the side. And so bottom, back, feet shoulder width apart, and we're going to go down with our thighs, our hamstrings parallel to the ground, and then come back up. Okay, so we're not holding this, we're not counting on the way down. These are just regular air squats. All right, let's do it. And 1, 1, 2, and you're pushing up through the heel. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 2 more, 9, and 10. Whew. Okay. So every rep is a signal to your body that you're determined. Every rep is saying that I'm learning how to have control. Every rep that you do says that I'm committed. So we talk about strength, strategy, and mindset. So this is our strength, right? So this is the thing that we do. So what is the exercise right now that we're doing for strength? That's the squats. And the squat is symbolic. It activates a lot of the muscles in our lower extremity. We've got to have balance. We've got to have control. We have to have power. All right, so look at all the things that are coming simply from doing the squat. And when we do that, we also have to activate our core. We'll talk more. We'll come back and we'll do an episode where we talk about the core, because there's a lot of things that we can extrapolate from this idea of the core. But basically, what you're doing is your entire lower body is having to lift the entire upper body, whatever pounds that is, right? Whatever number of pounds that is. And then you can modify that, you can add additional weights to that. But in order to simply do your body itself, think of the power that you need in order to support everything. Think of the strength that you need in order to go down in a controlled manner and come back up. Think of the strength in your life that you need to be able to have control. And so this is a symbolic exercise, but it is also a powerful one because it requires that you develop strength. I remember when I first started, I couldn't actually go all the way down, right? And certainly not go down in 3 sets of 10. So let's go ahead and let's do this last set. Once again, remember you can modify it if you need to, a chair or holding on to something. So let me back up a little bit. And so feet, shoulder width apart. What we're going to try to do is as we go down, right, we're going to try, and you're going to hold your head up just a little bit so that you're not like this so you don't bend over, right? So we're going to try to keep as straight as possible. And let's go ahead and get started. And we're going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, one more, and then 10. Whew. All right. So that's our strength. In your life, you're going to have places where you are this is a strength. This is one of my skills. This is one of my talents. And remember, that strength, that skill, that talent is designed to help support you in other places. Your skill that you have, the skill that you've developed, the skill that you've grown is to help support the rest of you, support the other parts of your life, support the other things that you want to do. And so you want to make sure that you are continuing to develop, continuing to grow those skills. Our strategy for today is the understanding that we are not aiming for perfection, but we're aiming for progress. You don't have to do this perfectly. You just have to do it intentionally. So a lot of times we plan for the ideal work day, the ideal body, ideal motivation. But the perspective that I want you to get is that the person who succeeds is not the one who plans for the perfect, but the one who plans for progress and not waiting for complete success. So as I do this, I'm going to grab some weights because I want us to do, let me move this off to the side. We're going to go ahead and do some curls. And even in this, as we are doing this, we're learning, we're growing, we're getting better. We understand that it takes time, and so progress is what we're looking for. Okay, so plan for real life. If you're going to save money, then you have to allocate all the money you have to, I'm going to grab these. Give each dollar a name and give it a plan, but don't plan to not ever have any money to do anything, right? That you know you're going to do. You know the car's going to break down, but you don't put that in the budget. You got to be realistic. So in this case, we are exercising, but we understand that we are being realistic. So we're going to do, actually let's do this. I was going to do the hammer curls, but let's go ahead and do the, I'm going to put these back. And we're going to do some curls. And so remember the curls, make sure you hold the barbells or dumbbells. I keep saying barbells, but dumbbells. I'm used to seeing the barbells with these. And I've got elbows to my side. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to lift these up and bring them down in a controlled manner. Because remember, all right? So our strategy is to understand that we are not going to do this perfectly, but we're aiming for progress intentionally. And here's the mindset. You ready? The mindset is that growth doesn't happen in comfort. Growth happens under tension. And so here I am putting tension as I go up. I'm putting tension as I come back down, right? And so as I get further in this, we'll add heavier weights. And those heavy weights will put additional tension on my muscles. And those muscles will begin to grow. Whether you are lifting weights, you're facing some challenges in your life, at your job, in your relationship, it only happens under tension, that growth. I think that's 10. Right? So growth happens under tension. Controlled tension leads to growth. And so we want to make sure that even as we're doing this, that we don't, right? Because the tendency is to just throw them up and throw them down, throw them up, throw them down. But you saw as I was doing, I was coming up and I was allowing the muscles to do their job. I was allowing them to feel some tension because that's how they grow. That's how they will get their strength. Okay, so we're gonna do 3 sets of 10. So that was 1 set. I think I ended up doing more than 10 there, but that's okay. As you are doing these various exercises, and as we get higher in our weights, you will feel like even now as I was doing that, I was feeling a little bit of burn right in that muscle. And as we mentioned before in our previous series, that sometimes we think comfort equates with capability, or comfort equates with that's what I should do, or comfort says that if I'm comfortable with it, then I'm good. Well, no, that's not what we want to say. Comfort sometimes is a place that says that I shouldn't be here. Right? Just because I'm not comfortable doesn't mean it's not something I can do. And that's the case here as well. So as you get further, as your muscles begin to fatigue, you will find that sometimes you'll feel a burn. But that doesn't mean that discomfort is something you should stop. So let's go ahead and do. We're going to go up. And that's 1. And that's 2. That's 3. That's 4. 5. 6. 7. 8. 9. And 10. Okay, I'm going to do that, and I should feel those in my biceps, forearms, sometimes triceps, depending on what I'm doing. And one of the things that you can do, remember tension, is as you come up to the top, you can tense, hold it there for a second or two, and then bring it down and hold it there. All right, so there's this thing called isometric exercising, and so right now we are actually contracting, right? So we're contracting, but you can actually just tense. Back in the old days, you stand, it's almost like you're flexing, right? And when you're doing that, you're actually causing those muscles to tense. And that tension actually can cause growth as well, okay? All right, so let's go ahead and let's get that last set in. Ready? And we're going up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 2 more, 9, and then one last one, and bring it down slowly, and that's 10. So that's our 3 sets. We're going to do one more exercise in the upper body, and then we're going to add or go back to something in the lower body. And remember, exercising, strength training. Strength training is good for longevity, right? So when you're exercising, you're improving your weight, insulin sensitivity, you're improving your aeration, right? So the lungs are expanding during that, your heart rate's going up. So there are lots of beneficial things that come from training, and then of course toning, right? So I'm working on my beach body. Right? And you guys saw a couple of days ago when we first started. I don't know if I showed that I think I did, right? You guys got to see some of my, right? So I'm working on, so this right here, yeah, so let's turn this way. So we're working on toning this. So I've lost, you guys will see, right, some of the weight that I've lost. Now I got to get this skin tightened up and get some muscle definition. So I'm working on strength training, I'm working on toning, and so the question as we go through this is going to be, what is the goal, right? So our goal is to have a structured place, structured time, where you can come aside and you can exercise, where you are moving, right? This is under our move campaign, right? To be able to move, because a lot of us don't have structured time where we move. We go to work and so forth. But I'm talking time where you're actually doing something for yourself, for your body, and this is a space for that. Now, the next thing I want to do is I'm going to do some bench presses, but I'm going to do with the dumbbells. And for this one, we can do it in a couple ways. I'm going to do it with the bench kind of like this, but I can actually, well, let me do that. I'm going to do it a little differently. I was going to do it a little differently with this so you can actually see me, but I want to actually go all the way back. We're going to put this down, and you'll see me. I'll count as I do it so that you can see as I get to the top. So we'll see. Hopefully that'll look good on the video. So first of all, I'm going to put this down. All right, so we're going to go all the way down. Let me get my head off of there for a minute. And I'm going to actually get some heavier weights. All right, so I'm going to sit. Get these on my legs, and then I'm going to lean back. And what I'm basically going to do is I'm going to take these and I'm going to press them up, right? And you'll see that here in just a minute. So you go back and I have on my legs. Make sure this thing is where I want it. There we go. All right, and then I'm going to lean back. And so I've got these out to the side. I'm just adjusting myself on the bench. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to lift over my head and bring these together at the top. And actually, I think I'm going to change my legs a little. There we go. Bring these up on the top. So I've got my arms out to the side. And we're going to do 10 reps, 3 sets, okay? Ready? Let's go. So when I get to the top and back down, then it'll be 1. Here we go. Up. 1. 2. 3. 4. 5. 6. 7. 8. 2 more. 9. And 10. All right, and I'm going to relax. Just put these on my legs right here. And let's come up. Okay. So once again, tension, controlled tension is what allows us to grow, allows us to build. You'll feel the burn sometimes, right? That moment when you're tempted to say, okay, that's it. But that tension is not the enemy. It's not the enemy. In fact, it is a sign that you are building something special. You're building something special. Yesterday we talked about our leg lifts, right? We talked about the balancing, one leg balance. And we said that just because you were wobbly doesn't mean that there's a problem. That actually means that your body is doing what it needs to do to get you better, to get you back in homeostasis, get you back where you need to be. And so same thing here, when you get that burn, sometimes we're tempted to give up and throw in the towel, but that's not what that means. All right, so let's go ahead, lay back down, and this is gonna be our second set. Get my legs out here. All right, here we go. So we got 1, 2, And I'm squeezing when I get up to the top. 3, my bench is a little wobbly, so 4. So squeeze, squeeze, squeeze at the top, and then let my muscles bring these down, okay? So I am activating all the muscles in my chest, my pecs, my biceps, my triceps, the muscles in my forearm, my shoulders. I think that's 7, 8, 2 more, 9, and 10. All right, let's go ahead and put these down. All right, come up. Ooh, one of the things that we'll talk about is actually recruitment, the recruitment of muscles. So when your muscles begin to fatigue, then they begin recruiting other muscles. And so that's how we can move from one muscle group to another. And that's actually a great concept because it has so many implications in real life. You know, the idea of getting fatigued and being able to recruit, being able to get a support group, being able to get your community behind you. Oh man, don't get me started on that one. All right. So the strength is our squat. The strategy is that we're aiming for progress, right? We're planning for progress, not for perfection. And then our mindset is that tension, controlled tension is what causes growth. We grow under tension. We grow under controlled tension, right? All right, so let's go ahead and let's do our last set. Going back down. Get my legs out. And ready? Let's go. Up. We're going to squeeze. Bring those down. 1. Up. Squeeze. 2. Up. Squeeze. 3. And then 4. 5. 6. 7. 8. 2 more. 9. 1 more. And then 10. Whew. All right. Awesome. Let's go ahead and get these back. And these back up here. All right, so that'll be it for our upper body. We will do some things here in our lower body. And hoping that you have been working along. You've done the other 2 videos, so this is day number 3. Of strength, strategy, and mindset. And so for this one, I'm going to actually lay on the ground and we're going to do some leg lifts. And two different types. Yeah, so I'm going to do that so I can show you. And this is an exercise that you could do if you are not able to do leg lifts, push-ups, sit-ups, any of those. You can do this because it's basically laying on your back. And let me make a comment about the leg lifts that we were doing, is that the goal is to lift as high as you can. So if you can't touch your elbows, with your knees or with your thighs, that's okay. You do as much as you can. So for all of these, it's not perfection, it's intention. And so we want to do as much as we can because there may be some limitations that you have, and we don't want you, or we want you to be as safe as possible, okay? So let's go ahead, and I'm gonna actually lay down. And I think you can see me. Let's move back this way a little bit. And take these glasses off. So we're gonna do two things. One, we're gonna do some, basically stomach crunches. And for this, I like to put my hands straight by my side, and I am, my palms down on the ground. I'm gonna lift my legs so that they're parallel to the ground, and then I'm gonna pull them back towards me as far as I can. I'm gonna hold them for a 5 count, okay? So let's do that. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That will be 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That'll be 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That'll be 3. And we're activating our core. Remember, we're pulling that stomach in just a little bit. That's 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 9. And then one more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And that's 10. So notice throughout that entire sequence, I did not put my feet back on the ground. They were up the whole time. And what that does, if I've kind of activated my core, pull that stomach in just a little bit, I'm tensing up. So every time I come back, remember, controlled tension is what causes growth. And so I've activated that. I come back, I'm controlling my legs up, right? So in order to do that, I've got to activate, I've got to use a lot of the muscles in my hips, my thighs, my abdomen, my legs to keep my leg up. And when I pull it back, and I am counting for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, that is actually helping to strengthen my core, okay? The other thing, one of the reasons I put my hands flat on the ground is that if I don't do that, my tendency is gonna be to bring my neck up, and I don't wanna cause any injury there. So when I put my hands flat on the ground, everything else has to be done with my core and with my lower extremity, okay? So let's go ahead and let's do our second set. So first of all, get our legs up, and we are trying to make those parallel to the ground. And then we're gonna pull it as far back as we can and count to 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 9. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10. Okay? All right, and then I'm gonna give a rest for a minute. And then I wanna show you one more exercise with the lower extremity. And it can be considered a variation for that, but what we're gonna do is we're gonna do a cross body knee to elbow tap, okay? So right knee to left elbow, left knee to right elbow, and we're gonna alternate that. And we're gonna do that for 10 times. So each side is going to be, left and right is going to be one rep, left and right 2 reps, left and right 3 reps, left and right 4 reps, and so forth. And so for this one, I also don't like to put my hands behind my head because I have a tendency to try to pull my head forward. And I want this to all be lower extremity and core. So I put my hands actually on the side of my face because I need my elbows And then I'm going to bring my left knee up to my right elbow, right, all the way up as possible. And I can cross over, right? But what I don't want to do is I don't want to do this. I don't want to bring my head up. So I just want my head flat down, right? And that would be 1. And that would be 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 2 more, 9, 10. Whew. Okay. So that's a good one. So one of the things that we can do as well is a cool down here. And what I do is I can tell people roll to one side. So this time I'm gonna roll towards you. And I'm gonna take my hand, I'm gonna put it in front of me, palm down. And I'm gonna take the other hand. You can either put it on your shoulder or you could put it under this arm on your side. And just kind of relax there. And what I'm imagining is I'm feeling the tension come out of my body. It's moving up my sides, into my shoulders, into my biceps and triceps, into my forearms, into my hand, the palm of my hand, and into the ground. So I'm releasing that tension. And then the same thing with my right leg. I'm going to bend it slightly and extend it a little bit in front of me. Now I'm going to take this arm and put the hand on my hip. This one, you can leave it where it was, or you can bring it up, put it under your head, which for me tends to give me a little bit better stress relief or cool down. And as you're doing this, you can actually do your breathing. So in through your nose, out through your mouth. In through your nose, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold it for 5. And breathe out for 5. In. Hold. And out. 2 more times. In through the nose. Hold it. And breathe out. In through your nose. Hold it. And breathe out. Same thing on the other side. You turn to the other arm, other side, and hand on the ground, palm facing down. You can take the other hand and kind of hold your shoulder, or you could put it under the arm. And just imagine that tension coming up from your toes into your legs, into your hips, up your side, into the shoulders, into the biceps, triceps, into the forearms, into the hand, into the palm, and into the ground. Just release all of that. Release it, release it. And you can do some more breathing here, in through your nose. Hold it, and out through your mouth. In through your nose. Hold it, and out through your mouth. All right. And so that would be our cool down. And so what do we want to do going forward? And so we were talking about challenges from our last series. And so we talked about habit stacking yesterday. And that's the idea that you already have something that you do, and you're just attaching a new behavior, a new action to something that's already going on. And we can do that. Yesterday we asked you to add the leg lifts after you finish brushing your teeth. Find another habit that you do. And this time I want you to do some squats. Now, if you do the regular air squats, that's fine. If you have to do a modified squat, that's fine. I just want you to do 5. You want to add that to your regiment. Add that to what you're doing. We're trying to incorporate this as much as possible into our everyday. So we don't want this to be a novelty, right? So we're not interested in novelty. We're interested in including this in everything we do all the time. So this is our move campaign. We're walking, we're doing some strength training, we're doing some toning, we're doing some strength strategy and mindset. Hey, I'm just so excited that you're here. Glad that you've joined me. You have done now day number 3. That's right, day number 3. So we learned about the power of the first rep. We learned about the strength that comes from balance. And today we learned about the power of being able to support ourselves, to not try to do it perfectly, not try to plan for the perfect, but plan for the everyday, and understanding that control tension causes growth. Thank you for being here. This is Dr. Dwain Woode, that's Wood with an E. The E stands for Endocrinology. Here I educate, I empower, and I encourage you to take charge of your health in your life, avoid complications, and go to the next level. We're creating the life we've always wanted. And we are living a limitless life because it says that we're not allowing anything from outside or anything from inside to prevent us from doing what we need to do. We're presenting our best selves, our best health, and our best life, and we are breaking free from those boundaries. Thanks for being here. I'll see you tomorrow on day number 104.